Good morning, students. Yesterday or in the previous lecture, we did the balancing of a chemical equation. Today we will discuss about the balancing of an ionic equation. So firstly, you must have known that what are ionic equations. What are ionic equations? So the chemical equation which is represented in the form of ions is known as ionic equation. For example, firstly you have to know what are ions. If for example we have sodium positive or chlorine negative, the elements which occupy or which have charge on it, whether it is positive or negative, these particular elements which carrying charge are known as ions, and the equations represented in this form is known as ionic equation. Let us take the example, or you can zoom here. We can see aluminium plus H positive gives you Al3 positive plus H2. This is your equation. So Al plus H positive gives you Al3 plus H2. This is your ionic equation. Now we have to balance this equation. So if you want to balance, then we have to apply the same methods as we applied for the chemical equation. But the difference is that here we also have to balance charge. So let us solve the example. You can see, firstly we will balance the atoms on the left hand side and on the right hand side. Firstly we will count aluminium, hydrogen. Left hand side aluminium atom is 1 and right hand side it is also 1. Hydrogen atom on the left hand side is 1 and on the right hand side is 2. So, and the third term we add is charge. You can see charge on the left hand side is positive 1 and charge on the right hand side is positive 3. So charge and hydrogen atoms are unbalanced. Firstly we will balance the atoms. So to balance hydrogen atom, we will multiply this by 2. As we multiply this by 2, you can see Al plus 2H positive gives you Al3 positive plus H2. This is the equation. Now you can count again the atoms on the left hand side and on the right hand side. Left hand side aluminium is 1, right hand side aluminium is 1, left hand side hydrogen is 2, hydrogen are 2, and on the right hand side hydrogens are 2. So atoms are balanced, but now if you come to the charge, you can see on the left hand side there is a positive 2 charge and on the right hand side there is a positive 3 charge. So we have to balance the charge. If you want to balance this, we will have to multiply this by 3 and right hand side by 2. As we multiply this by 3 and this by 2, multiply this by 3 and this by 2, we get Al plus 6H positive gives you 2Al3 positive plus hydrogen. So this is your new equation. Now again you have to count all the atoms on the right hand side or also on the left hand side. You can see here aluminium is 1 on left hand side and right hand side aluminium are 2. Hydrogen are 6 on the left hand side and on the right hand side these are 2. Now we have to balance all this. So for balancing hydrogen we will multiply this by 3 and for balance aluminium atom we will multiply this by 2. So after multiplying you get 2Al plus 6H positive plus 2Al3 positive and 3H2. So now this is your balanced chemical equation. You can verify it by counting the number of atoms on right hand side and both left hand side, and also by seeing the charge. You can see here on the left hand side aluminium atoms are 2, and on the right hand side that is also 2. Hydrogen atoms are 6, and on the right hand side this is also 6. Charge on left hand side is positive 6, and charge on the right hand side is positive 6. The next example, I negative plus H2O2 gives you OH negative plus I2. This reaction you have to do it on yourself. Please do it on your notebook and send me on WhatsApp. Those who didn't attend the class will send me the answer of this particular equation by not seeing this answer. Send me on the WhatsApp. I will check it. Now, next topic is chemical equation can be made more informative. So, how can a chemical equation can be made more informative? These are the balanced chemical equations, but some things has to be added to make it more informative. The first point is regarding physical state. If we have a reaction, let us suppose zinc plus H2SO4 makes zinc sulfate plus H2. So in first point we will represent the physical state. So zinc here is act as solid, we add S. H2SO4 is aqueous solution, therefore we will write AQ in the brackets. Z10 SO4 is also aqueous, and hydrogen is gas. So we add SAQG in the brackets with the particular reactants or products. So here S symbol is used for solid substance, L is used for liquid that is pure liquid like water, G is used for gaseous substance, and AQ is used for aqueous solution. Now aqueous means the solution made with the help of water. So aqueous solutions are solutions made with the help of water. So next second point is, if you have a equation, chemical equation, let us suppose I am repeating the same example again. Zinc plus sulfuric acid gives you zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. So as you can see, hydrogen is a gas. So if your product is gas, then you have to write a upward arrow with it. We have to write a upward arrow with hydrogen. So upward arrow is used in the product side for the gaseous product, and a downward arrow is used if your products are solid or in the products precipitates are formed. If precipitates are formed in the products, then we use downward arrow with it. If gases are formed in the product, we will use upward arrow. For downward arrow, there is an example. We did this example in the very first lecture. PbNO3, that is lead nitrate plus potassium iodide, gives you lead iodide plus potassium nitrate. So here lead iodide is a yellow color precipitate, and we will write a downward arrow with it. Downward arrow represent that PbI2 are precipitates, that precipitates of lead iodides are formed. So this is your second point. Next point is, your third point is about reversibility, reversible reactions. You can see a double-headed arrow is used for reversible reaction. Now what are reversible reactions? You can see the example. Reversible reactions are those in which reactants react with each other to form a product. At the same time, products again comes back to the reactants. Let us take one more example. A plus B gives you AB. This is forward reaction, and if at the same time AB is converted back into the reactants. So this is forward reaction, this is backward reaction. When we conclude both of this, we have to write this like reversible reaction. So we can write it like this. So what it means, A plus B join to form AB, and at the same time AB is going back to the original A plus B. So this is reversible reaction. Fourth point is actual concentration, means if you are given zinc plus sulfuric acid gives you zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. So if the concentration of the solution is not known or didn't tell, so you just have to write DIL dot. It means dilute CONC dot. It means concentrated. We don't have to show the actual concentration of any reactant or product. We just have to write either the solution is concentrated. If the solution is concentrated, we write CONC dot, concentrated. If the solution is not concentrated, we will write dilute. So here you can see H2SO4, dilute H2SO4 is used, so we will write here dilute. We add dilute word in front of H2SO4. So actual concentration will not show. Fifth point is sometimes there are a lot of reactions which need reagents to do a reaction, or you can say conditions by which reaction can be occur. Let us take the example, very simple example. You studied in your previous classes 6th, 7th, 8th, photosynthesis reaction, in which I am zooming it, in which carbon dioxide and water combine with each other to form a glucose and plus oxygen. So here you can easily see this reaction can be occur only in the presence of sunlight and if there is presence of chlorophyll. If one of them is absent, then reaction will not occur. So it means these are the conditions by which a reaction can occur. So there are a lot of reactions which undergo only under certain conditions of temperature, pressure and catalyst, etc. But without them reaction will not occur. So these are some conditions. We have to write it on the arrow. We can write it either above or below. We can write it up and down where we want to write. Sixth point is about energy. If the reactant reacts and form product and produce energy or heat, then we will represent that heat on the product side by the positive sign. And if we are giving heat to the reactants to form products, then we will write that heat on the, I'm writing it again, if A plus B, and we have to provide some heat so as to make C, that is product, then the heat is written on the reactant side with the positive sign. And there is another method. If the reaction is giving out heat, we firstly write C plus heat. But if you don't want to write heat on the product side, we can write heat on the reactant side but with negative sign. Same for if you are giving heat to the reactants and products are forming, you can write heat as negative. So that's all for today. Thank you.